Assalamualaikum dan salam Ramadan untuk semua. Kita bertemu di sesi podcast yang istimewa. Saya Fedtri Yahya.
Saya Nabihah, Zakaria.
Okey, dan kita hari ini nak berbincang tentang topik yang menarik dan pastinya masih tentang jiwa, jasad dan nyawa kita untuk berbincang tentang Gaza dan juga Palestin. Okay, hari ini kita akan bersama dengan dua tokoh yang memberikan di sini sangat pentinglah peranan mereka dalam pelbagai spektrum yang dapat mereka sumbangkan untuk membantu Gaza dan Palestin. Baik, saya kenalkan yang pertama Encik Jismi, merupakan pengerusi OPS Ihsan. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Terima kasih.
Steady ya selalu ya.
Ya,
steady semangat untuk memberikan bantuan. Baik, perkenalkan.
Nabihah, Zakaria, pengurus projek di MyFundAction untuk war zone countries, terutama di Palestin.
And Aliza King, she is influencer, activist and speaker. คุณพูดภาษาอะไรได้ไหมครับ
พูดภาษาไทยได้หรอ
Okay, Aliza lah seorang aktivis, seorang cakap yang juga sering memberikan posting yang banyak tentang kemanusiaan dan sebagainya. Okay, sebelum kita bermula bersama dengan Aliza dan juga Nabi nak kongsikan juga, kita pergi dulu pada Cik Jismi sebab kita dulu terlibat dengan proses penghantaran ya, fasa demi fasa untuk sampai ke Gaza. Okay, hari ini selepas Oktober, November, Disember, Januari, Februari, Mac, kita takut orang dah hilang momentum untuk membantu. Cik Jismi rasa macam mana?
Ya, terima kasih Fitri, Aliza, Nabihah. Kita memang daripada Oktober hari itu semua kita terlibat dengan pengumpulan barang-barang bantuan, di mana 2 hari kita dapat tengok solidariti daripada rakyat Malaysia. Kita dapat kumpul 60 tan barangan. Itu dalam masa 48 jam. Kemudian kita mengambil inisiatif menghantar barang-barang tu yang mana ditaja oleh kerajaan Malaysia melalui udara, sebab pada masa tu kita rasa itu keperluan yang mendesak dan kita mengantar dengan 3 penghantaran di mana kita dapat tengok disaksikan oleh Timbalan Perdana Menteri 1, Timbalan Perdana Menteri 2 dan juga penghantaran ketiga Fedtri di sana disaksikan oleh Yang Seri Paduka Baginda Yang di-Pertuan Agong. Memang setelah 5 bulan kita berada dalam situasi yang mana kita tengok Gaza diserang, dibantai tanpa henti. Daripada pengalaman kita sebelum ni, paling lama serangan ke atas Gaza hanya mengambil masa lebih kurang 59-60 hari. Is that right, Aliza? Before this, Gaza has been attacked maximum about 60 days, and this is the first time that we are facing the longest
sometimes during Ramadan
attacks.
Then after 2 or 3 weeks, then okay,
Yeah.
back to normal life.
They stop.
This one, yeah.
This is non-stop.
Actually, I started getting involved with the Gaza project, or whatever you want to call it, Gaza aggression, actually the first year that I became a Muslim. So I became a Muslim in 2013, and I had a little campaign. I was already influencer then. I had a little campaign about being a Muslim, and suddenly, you know, things started to happen in the last 10 nights of Ramadan, and I thought, wow, this is strange. Why are they attacking, you know, worshippers? It's so strange. So I know for a fact that the last many years, every single year so far that I've been a Muslim, it's been 11 years now, there are attacks in Gaza and also in the West Bank, right? And of course this time is the longest that we've seen so far, and we don't even know when it's going to stop. It's so, being an influencer, sometimes, alhamdulillah, the NGOs come to us to just work with us so that we can disseminate the news. Sometimes we get the news before the news gets the news. So, alhamdulillah, it's been heart-wrenching this time around. I mean, every time, but especially this time, because the video footage and the photos are just coming out so raw. Yeah, it used to be that we would have angles and things so we wouldn't shock people too much, but this time it's just like, just post. You know, no censor. Something will censor, Meta will censor, someone will censor, but we just post. Yeah.
If I can ask, how do you see the acceptance level of non-Muslims? Because you think that it's only a Islam issue, Muslim issue, and not Hindu issue.
So if I may be frank, in terms of non-Muslims, there are 2 groups right now. there's one group that has been awakened. Definitely been awakened. They are the ones that are setting to the streets, as we see the video footages of hundreds and thousands of people marching in London and New York and all these places. So these are the people who are waking up or have already been awoken. But then there are still people who actually, I don't have a better word except for ignorant, and they decide to be ignorant. It's not that they don't know that there's something going on, but they're comfortable. They don't want to know, they don't need to know, and they have their stance, they want to stick to it. I know of people in America, where I'm from, that they choose not to watch the news. They know something's happening.
How strong is
So
the mainstream media right now?
oh my gosh, if you're talking about America, risking saying things that people won't like, yeah, putting myself as a target a little bit. People in America are brainwashed. If you're talking about media, there's no place aside from America and Israel that is more heavily brainwashed by the media. But alhamdulillah for social media and on-the-ground journalists who are, showing the truth. Because if it's media, it's all a play. It's like those reality shows, but they're actually more show than reality. Yeah.
Okay. Cabaran juga, mungkin Nabihah melihat macam mana dari segi kepercayaan masyarakat. Sebab mereka mahukan isu-isu integriti ini diselesaikanlah. Kalau boleh kita nak, mereka nak orang biasa lah kan. Maksudnya mereka, kalau hari ni kita hantar bantuan, dia nak betul-betul sampai di depan mata tu. Mereka tak nak lagi, kenapa terhalang, kenapa berhenti di Mesir, kenapa ni. Mereka nak, kalau boleh mesti ada pihak ketiga yang menjadi third party yang dapat sampaikan bantuan tu direct from Malaysia, penyumbang yang donate ni terus sampai kepada orang biasa. Jadi cabaran bagi warga pekerja NGO ni untuk memastikan kepercayaan itu berterusan, sebab kita memerlukan dana dan bantuan dan juga mereka ni mahukan kalau boleh, sebablah kita pun faham di zaman sekarang ni ramai yang memandai-mandai kenapa tak bagi ikut atas, kenapa tak ikut laut, kan ada laut. It's not that easy kan. Macam mana nak memberi penerangan ke masyarakat kena bila dapat itu.
Okay, bila kita bercakap tentang cara penghantaran barang dan juga at the same time we need to take care of our supporters dan juga kepercayaan tu, integrity itu sendiri. Ramai ni sekarang kalau kita nak hantar barang, dia kalau boleh nak kita buat live. Live hantar. Mana hari ni hantar terus upload di media sosial. So that one is one of our challenge lah. Jadinya sebab on our operation part, kita nak kena menjaga hak dan juga keselamatan our saudara mara di sana. Bila mana tadi kita ada bercakap tentang Israel boleh check sendiri the location using the AI via the photos and the videos, itu antara perkara yang kami sangat concern. Jadi sebab itulah bila menghantarkan barang tu, our first strategy, semua NGO di Malaysia ni disatukan di bawah satu payung Ops Ihsan yang dipengungsikan oleh Encik Jismi sendiri. Nak menjaga 60 NGO ni pun bukan satu perkara yang mudah. Dan kita pun ada juga cabaran-cabaran lain juga bersama-sama dengan NGO yang lain ni. Jadi nak satu sepakati Ops Ihsan daripada Malaysia. Itu yang melalui untuk 3 sorties we using air freight. Bekerjasama dengan mas kargo, dan kemudiannya untuk yang ke depan ni ada juga NGO yang secara langsung melaksanakan operasi daripada Mesir. Itu dengan kerjasama Kementerian Luar Negeri dengan mengoptimumkan dana AAKRP ni tadi dengan pelbagai cara. Ada daripada Mesir.
Dapat saya tanya distribution tu, adakah juga perlu mendapatkan approval daripada Israel?
No, distribution on the ground, there's no need approval from the Israeli side. But in terms of aids to reach Gaza, all trucks have to go through a checkpoint, Israeli checkpoint. And certain, before you send your trucks into Sinai or inline in Rafah, you have to sign the manifest on what items you are bringing in. And as for now, only food is allowed and tents. And tents have to be no metal at all. It's not metal pole, it have to be a wooden pole. medical equipment is the most scrutinized item when you want to send in. When the trucks arrive in Rafah, okay, Rafah is a town where both sides have Rafah. It's Rafah, Egypt and Rafah, Gaza. So when the trucks line up in Rafah, you have to go down to Karim Shalom for inspection of the goods. And there's two ways you can go in nowadays. You can go back to Rafah. There's another inspection before you go to the warehouses. Or you can offload your goods in Karim Shalom, and your partner NGO can come to Karim Shalom to pick it up. So it used to be only one point, only Rafah. You have to go to Nizania, not Karim Shalom, but Nizania, lower south than Karim Shalom. Then you have to travel back to Rafah, another checkpoint, and then you go in. So this is
How many trucks
how
allowed in one day?
the agreement before the humanitarian, during the humanitarian pause in January, if I'm not mistaken, they're supposed to allow 100 trucks. But then again, honestly, it depends on the mood of the Israeli enforcers at the checkpoint. Sometimes they only allow like 4 or 5 trucks. But alhamdulillah, our trucks normally would take about, from Cairo into Gaza, would take about 5 to 10 days to reach. This is because the trucks are, there's two group of trucks that is in line right now. There are those about 2,000 trucks, 2,000 trailers that is waiting to go in. That is, then there are trucks that been allowed because you have pre-approval from Cairo itself. So our trucks are categorized in this pre-approval. So we go straight to line up for the checkpoint.
Because for some neighboring countries like Egypt, they have widened the military zone. So we feel that we can't do nothing because it's about
yes. The
policy.
the Sinai itself falls under a special military zone. Even it was like that since after 1967, and so now they tighten the security. You cannot cross the bridge or the tunnel in Ismailia into Sinai, because in Ismailia that is the last checkpoint and the strictest checkpoint. After that there are like 7 or 8 checkpoints until you reach Rafah itself. So berbalik kepada soalan pertama tadi yang sebelum sempat dijawab, berkenaan dengan apa tadi Fitri, bukan dia punya
proses penyampaian maklumat bekalan tu.
Proses bekalan tu. So it started off either from Malaysia or from Cairo. Dia dua jalan. Kalau sebelum ni dengan penerbangan kita hantar terus ke Al-Arish. We send straight to Al-Arish, which is in Sinai itself. And from Al-Arish it takes us 5 days to reach into Gaza and handed over to the Palestinian Red Crescent or the Ministry of Health if it is medicine or medical items. And of course, as Nabihah mentioned, some NGOs were appointed by the AAKRP, Account Amanah Kemanusiaan Rakyat Palestin, to be the implementation partner. So they prepared food packs in Cairo and sent direct. So far setakat ni we have sent about 33,000 boxes of food packs, which weigh about 400 tons, and the target is 800 to 1,000 tons.
Sometimes you feel guilty because luxury buffet for Ramadan, but they just address animal food and then
The grass soup.
Yeah, grass
Yeah,
soup.
the grass soup is
It's-
so sad.
People we don't have the right terms to elaborate. Nabihah rasa macam mana?
Kita
Sebab yelah semua orang perlukan makanan, tapi
Like, how do we deal with the guilt? You know?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, actually, this comes from my followers a lot. It's like, Lisa, Lisa, first, how are you dealing with all this? How do you go through all this content and post it and still be sane? Yeah, and then onwards, they'll say, how do I deal with my guilt of still having my family, still having enough food, still being able to do so many things, especially during Ramadan, like you mentioned, the iftar buffets and everything. So I think there's two things. First, we remind ourselves that we all have our own qadr, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us our own qadr. They have their qadr as the elevated martyrs, right? We see, yes, so much pain, but at the same time, we have to remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose them to be elevated. They chose, they are chosen to go straight to Jannah, no account, right? So they're chosen for that, and a part of their reckoning is that in this world. Yeah, I mean, there's no reckoning for them in the next world. For us, there is. So whatever they have to go through, they go through here. But they are our test, right? Are we going to do something? Right? So if you're at home and you're feeling guilty, find something that you can do. I have some students that can't do much because I teach Fardu Ain to adults and to new Muslims. Some of them shut down because they might have depression themselves and all these things. And I said, for you, you make dua and that's enough. For you, you make dua, that is enough, and then you become strong in yourself so that in the future you can do something. Others, if you can give money, if you can volunteer, whatever it is that you can do above that, you do it. Now, in terms of the iftar thing, don't post your food. You want to do something for them? Don't post your food. Don't talk about your food. Be very mindful about this. Yes, you have your blessings. This is your qadar. But they're watching us as much as we're watching them. So do your part.
Saya teringat ada satu puisi lah yang dapat saya buat tapi tak jadi sebab yang sensitif. How much is 1 kilogram of rice of flour in Palestine? Be equal to 7 life.
Yeah.
Yes, they drop everything and then people rushing to get it. And then the ending is very sad ending.
Very sad.
Okay, kita beralih pada isu-isu yang serius pada nanti takut kita pun menangis sama. Okay, sebagai seorang yang lama dalam bidang kemanusiaan, berapa tahun Cik Jismi?
Lama, dalam 15 tahun.
15 tahun. Jadi kalau kita tanya kepada pakar, experts ataupun pengkaji dan semuanya, agak-agak bila ada satu turning point untuk memberi kesudahan yang okey lah. Maksudnya tempoh bertenang kan, ceasefire yang lebih lama supaya masa inilah masa untuk berikan bantuan. Masuk semua facilities, food, volunteers, tak ada langsung gangguan daripada Israel. Kita nak bangunkan supaya ada tempoh untuk bernafas, bertenang sebentar. Sebab nampaknya ini yang paling konsisten. Israel keep on targeting, tak berhenti
Non-stop. Daripada pandangan di sebelah Israel, dia masuk ke Gaza dengan 3 objektif. Pertama, untuk kononnya untuk menyelamatkan orang-orang dia yang telah diculik. Kedua, untuk mencari terowong-terowong, dan ketiga, untuk totally eliminate Hamas di bumi Gaza. So setakat 5 bulan, as for 5 months now, they have not achieved any one of these objective. And this is what they promise to their sponsors, that it's going to take them only 1 week or 2 weeks. But then they are dragging it and they're asking for more help, more armaments, more weapons, more bombs, from 1 week to another, seminggu ke seminggu. Jadilah kita 165 hari. Okay? Dan daripada pandangan dia sekarang ni, dia sikit je lagi dia akan capai objektif dia. In their point of view, they just like only left Rafah. Okay, so they are going to Rafah as for now. Also, they are trying. They are going into Rafah and to finish off what they have gone into in order to save their faces. Because lepas 5 bulan, daripada pandangan industri keselamatan atau ketenteraan, sebuah negara yang berperang dengan non-state actors, a country that is fighting with the non-state actors, took them 5 months to find these non-state actors. So they are considered dah kalah, they lost the whole thing. So they have to save their faces, and this is what they want to do. And then there was a humanitarian pause in January, and there are like 3 ceasefire meetings between both parties, and now it's in Doha. Before this it was in Cairo, and they still think that they have the upper hand, and they are systematically starving the people in Gaza, where they attack 8 distribution centers, 8 trucks. They slow down the flow of trucks from Egypt into Gaza, and they cut all humanitarian needs towards the northern part of Gaza, and this is something that they do systematically, and they feel like they only have another 10% to reach it. So bagi pandangan di pihak sana, dia rasa dia hampir sampai objektif. Bagi pandangan kita pula, on our point of view, it's more than enough, the suffering of the people of Gaza, what they are facing, you know. We have seen some countries aligned to them, to the Israelis, are very strong in the first 2 months. Then in December, when South Africa start to make their move, and thanks to the social media and influencers like Aliza, like Fedtri, and MyFundAction, who shared all these stories, videos non-stop. We need to get it across to the people in these countries, especially, let's say, like Aliza mentioned, in the US. It's true. I stayed in the US. I was studying in the US before. The news are like all programmed for you to be a person that they create you after, you know, watching this TV. They've been using TV for a very long time to program people. And social media, that's why they want to block TikTok, to block the content of unlimited content of what is happening in Gaza. The others, they have Meta, they can block the IG and FB. And we need everybody to start to intensify what is happening in Gaza now, so that the people in these countries, as we see in the US now, more than 30 cities are raising up and coming out in support of Gaza, of the people of the Palestine.
How do you see the situation? Enemies become ally. Some of the countries, they start relationship with Israel, so because of the economy factor.
Of course, I think the correct word that everyone or most people have been using is very disappointing. Yeah, it's not that we can't comprehend and understand the importance of economics and geopolitics. We can understand. But when these normalizing friends are supposed to be a part of the ummah, it's very disappointing. And it makes me very angry. I'm not an angry person. I'm actually a very happy-go-lucky type. But these 5 months, I've been angry. You know, it's like a controlled anger. It's like you want to shout because of everything that's happening. And a part of me is telling me, and I think this is because I'm a reverted Muslim and I teach Fardhu Ain, is that I'm thinking, how can they forget that that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is taking account? And if they were to help their brothers and sisters, there's no reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wouldn't still protect their economics and their politics and all these things. they've lost touch for the dunya. And it's just extremely disappointing. They're just like the occupied lands. I don't want to call them the other thing. Just like the occupied lands, these countries are quickly losing the respect of the world. Whatever they're trying to do to save face or to gain economics or to make alliances, the world knows that it's all with the wrong intention, with the wrong people. So whatever they're building, they're actually destroying with their own hands and their own actions.
And conference after conference, no solution. Leaders around the world, I see, but we do have any solid solution. Okay, pihak MyFundAction, sekarang ni apa yang digerakkan untuk membantu? Adakah berterusan lagi merasakan sumbangan pihak orang ramai untuk membantu? Sebab mereka mungkin rasa dah tak boleh buat apa dah, macam seru. Jadi apa yang boleh dilakukan oleh orang biasa seperti kita?
Okay. Kalau dari segi bantuan di MyFundAction sini, kita dah sejak 7 Oktober hari kedua tu pun we already make distribution in terms of hot meals and medical and medicine supplies. So for this time ongoing support, more than 1 million we spend untuk hantar Ihsan from Malaysia melalui jalan laut. This time we collaborate with Aramex yang kita akan hantar dan insyaAllah akan sampai ke sana dalam bulan Mei. Jadi berterusan. Kalau hot meals tu like every month memang kita ada. And we set up central kitchen and kita buka sampai 10 ke 15 hari berterusan di sesebuah kawasan. Sebab kita tak nak bekalan terputus. Kalau tak mereka kena travel, they need to walk for 10 kilometers to get the aid. So we don't want that things happen. So it's better we set up central kitchen that can operate for 14 days so that they can have enough food in sometimes for 2 weeks, insyaAllah.
In terms of security at the central kitchen area?
Alhamdulillah, for this time being, we already made for 6 distributions for hot meals, and we don't have any impact or effect from Israel about that kitchen. So we close communication with our implementing partners over there if that place available or not to set up the central kitchen. They will make assessment first before they give information for us. And we have one story that I would like to share. Normally they can distribute like 5,000 packs a day. But Alhamdulillah, previous time, the same amount of food, but then we can distribute to more than 8,000 people on that day. With the barakah Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala, by sharing the foods and everything, even they can still distribute the food at the camps and the hospitals for the patients, for the doctors as well. So this is we can see like the barakah from Allah when Allah mentioned in tansurullah yansurkum wa yuthabbit aqdamakum. Whenever we help this religion, then Allah will help and strengthen our position, insyaAllah. Dan mungkin satu perkara lagi lah, maksudnya from that story that we can take the lesson. Why not? We can make it and share the foods in Malaysia as well. I shared the story during the Iftar in Malaysia that usually in the mosque we don't have sufficient Iftar because too many people are coming at the mosque. So that one day, me and my team reserve like for 4 packs for my other friends. But then we see that other people do not get the food. So when we see that face, Ya Allah, this is like the situation when you don't get the food, you already queue, but you don't get the iftar. You know the frustration. So when I see that face, they still have the family that bring the kids. They still have
queue for hours sometimes.
Yes, and then I say whenever the food that we preserve from our friends, we distribute to the people that already coming. So we just share one plate to 2 to 3 with our friends together. So I see this is the lessons that we should take and implement. So I love that your encouragement about we just don't come to the mosque with the empty hand. You need to bring something from your home so that you can share with other
Always
people.
have a plan A, plan B, and plan C. But in Gaza, maybe they don't have any plan.
They don't have anything to bring.
The plan keep changing because every day keep changing.
Yeah.
I was worried about pregnant ladies, mothers, how they survive. newborns.
See, can you imagine the difficulty of a mother who have to undergo cesarean operation without any anesthesia, you know, and the difficulty of the people who are injured that have to be amputated without any anesthesia, or even at one point we had problems that we want to even you cannot send in painkillers. These are all planned and structured. It's a structured plan by the Israelis to increase the suffering of the people in Gaza. And going back to aids, to what we are sending, you know, I agree with Aliza that some countries are not doing much, whereas they are around it, they can pressure, and the best way of sending aids are still through land, and they are using it as a choke point, something to control things to go in, and suddenly they drop things out from the air, and now they want to build a port, temporary port in Gaza. I have to express this. This is something that, you know, having a port in Gaza that is controlled by an outsider, an outside country, is controlling the resources so that the people will bow down to what is wanted by the Israelis, and that's why they want to control the source of food. So they are using other option. If the port is there, then it's like occupying Gaza all over again, with now not only Israel but with their big brother controlling the whole.
Okay, our discussion will be limited, but maybe my question is maybe more interesting. Boycott, how impactful and how it can continue?
Of course, this is a very good question and a very good topic. The boycotts are working, alhamdulillah. Of course, there are some people that don't understand the boycotts completely. So like, why are we doing this? You know, there's other people, not just only supporters working in these factories. Yes, we understand that. But the thing is that the boycotts are working, hurting the companies that are supplying the funds for the weapons and supporting the occupation army. So this is what we want. We want to work together to achieve this goal, where yes, there might be some people are affected, and do we have a heart for them? Yes, we do. But we can't let an entire nation, an entire people starve, be killed, be bombed. We can't just sit by and do that. So the BDS, and also getting on the apps to check if this label or this brand is on the list that we should avoid. We have to do that. This is something that the average person can do. This is our resistance. This is the thing that we can do from home. We don't necessarily have to go to jihad and fight physically there. This is our jihad in our own homes. So definitely the boycotts are working. We see the stocks of McDonald's and Starbucks and all these, the main supporters. Estee Lauder is their family is basically Zion. So, all these brands that, we used to support, we need to stop. MashaAllah, I live in Malaysia now, and Malaysians have wonderful products. So many alternatives, especially the food alternatives, right? But Malaysians are so clever, even the skincare and everything, I was able to switch over very easily, MashaAllah. It's not a hard thing, and it's good to support local.
Okay, itu tentang isu boycott. Baik, dalam kita bimbang macam ni, Ramadan kita semua dalam tempoh kita punya mood ketakwaan tu tinggi kan. Kita takut juga nanti bila masuk raya orang semua nak happy, Festival start festival. Kemudian kita akan lupakan balik Gaza ni. Macam mana untuk memastikan mood itu berterusan sekalipun kita dalam keadaan mood yang ria, balik kampung semua, dan tidak melupakan perjuangan di Gaza. Mereka di Gaza ni mungkin tak ada kampung lah. Kampung dah hancur, masjid semua dah runtuh, dan sangat emosional kita lihat masjid dah runtuh tapi masih ada jemaah yang
solat di tapak.
Jadi usaha kita bagaimana? Mungkin Ihsan sebagai payung yang besar untuk memastikan kesinambungan usaha yang digerakkan?
Ya, seperti mana yang Fitri cakap tadi, momentum kita boleh lihat daripada awal dia sangat tinggi, kemudian makin menurun. This is sebab of the reason of familiarization, the process of familiarization. Bila kita tengok satu benda tu, mula-mula kita kesian, jadi lama-lama then it become familiar to us, then kita dah macam, oh ni biasa. Dia bagi pihak kami Ihsan, kami rakan-rakan di dalam Ihsan sentiasa mengingatkan orang ramai melalui proses advokasi, melalui social media, apa yang masih terjadi di sana. Dia tidak berubah. Dia masih, pada mulanya kita sangka kan perkara Gaza ni, apa yang berlaku di Gaza ni hanya mengambil masa sangat singkat, paling lama mungkin 2 bulan. Itu adalah proses pertama yang kita panggil emergency stage, di mana makanan, perubatan, air kita hantar, ataupun kemah perlindungan kita hantar, dan kita rasa maksimum 1 ke 2 bulan, kemudian ceasefire, kemudian start rebuilding. Tapi kali ini if talking about rebuilding alone is very far. We are pushed back now into the emergency stage where food is the most needed item, so as water, shelter, and also medicine. So we are memang ini yang jadi bila orang macam rasa benda ni dah normal. Oh, kita dah bagi dah minggu lepas untuk makan ke MyFundAction, kan, MyFundAction dah buat, kita dah bagi. Padahal benda ni perlu hari-hari, masih perlu. 2 juta orang di ambang kebuluran, kan. Jadi makanan tu masih diperlukan setiap hari, dan memang banyak perlu dihantar ke sana. Dan itu yang kita kena tingkatkan kesedaran kepada orang ramai berkenaan ni. Di Ramadan sendiri, macam saya di dalam rumah dengan keluarga, kita kurangkan pembelian di bazar Ramadan. Kita makan yang benda-benda yang perlu. Kalau dia bersederhana tu, moderation is always in our religion. So we go back to moderation, even going to the bazaar Ramadan. We try to teach our children, like, if you want to eat this, can you delay it one day, maybe tomorrow, because you have this, only maybe one food per child. Of course, we want to support the people in bazaar Ramadan also, but my personal effort is that for Ramadan, 50% what I normally spend, I would put it in the Gaza effort. So this is among the things lah. For Raya, memang as Sister Aliza mentioned, it is our qadar to be in this place, and of course, Eid is something that we want to celebrate for our personal success during Ramadan, and also perlu bersederhana, dan we hope that this year the takbir for Eid will be the takbir for the people in Gaza also.
If you follow K-pop, I mean, their fans or army, they are very strong and strategic movement. If you touch their idols, then they will attack, and then the way they promote everything is very strategic. Okay, so maybe you can implement the same energy for Palestinian, for Palestine issues.
You can centralize
on the world. Because every time for celebrities, Hollywood for example, they post about false information about Palestine, then we don't have a strong people to back up. Or maybe removed by Instagram or Facebook. Sometimes we post a video, but after 3 days, we are banned from the platform. So, how Aliza is consistent? I saw your IG, then more news that you post every day.
Alhamdulillah. Actually, I started posting the same day. that it happened. So that was October 7, and within 4 hours, I was already shadow banned. I knew because my viewership dropped. I was like, whoa. Not warnings. It was a shadow ban. So it was, usually it's a couple hundred maybe, and then it went down to 2. Like, oh, what's this? What's this? And then, but alhamdulillah, because I have other influencer friends, we all talked, and so we put some guidelines down for ourselves, so-called the misspellings or mentioning, like hinting at certain things or certain types of photos that can or cannot, but now everything can be, So that was in the beginning, and I found that if you get, mashallah, 1 or 2 that go very viral, like some of mine, 30,000, 40,000, mashallah, that helps. So there's still ways to beat the algorithm. Like you ask your followers and whoever to assist you in engaging that, because the algorithm is just a thing, right? It's just a machine. So there are still ways to beat the algorithm. And certain words that you put into the caption and but even after doing that, I know I'm still shadow banned, and even some of my features I didn't even know that they were stopped, but I tried to use some features. I don't have this anymore. Okay, sure. So, but people can still be very regular in posting. It's just, there's some guidelines to how many of the main posts that you can post, how many of the stories that you can post before they actually shut you down for 3 days. A lot of my friends, 3 days shutdowns. So I haven't faced that yet. Alhamdulillah, Allah has protected my accounts. There was some scares there, but yeah. So there are definitely ways. People don't have to be as scared as before, because like what brother had said, the occupiers, they're quite haughty now. They just, they don't really care anymore. You can spell things correctly now. They don't care because they know that people aren't going to stop them. So it's a little bit more relaxed in that way, but people are also losing steam, because you do get, you get desensitized from things. So this is actually the time to keep going, keep posting, keep talking, whatever that you can do, keep going.
Okay, balik kepada persoalan tadi, macam mana kita nak bantu diorang tu. Di bawah Ihsan, Ihsan kita ada medical group or medical cluster which is being already planning to send doctors into Gaza when there's a ceasefire. And not only doctors, but also psychologists, psychiatrists, and general volunteers, because we need general volunteers to help the doctors. Ini antara benda-benda yang kita rancang lah di bawah Ihsan. Selain daripada itu juga, satu perkara yang saya nak highlightkan atau tekankan ialah bagaimana orang-orang Gaza sendiri mendidik anak-anak diorang, atau bagaimana diorang mendidik diri mereka sendiri untuk continue terima keadaan dengan redha and continue with life. Satu benda yang amazingly Gaza is teaching us about benda, it's resilient. Yeah, they're training us. We cried for them, like Sister Aliza highlighted. We cried for them, but they would say, "Why are you crying for us?" Alhamdulillah, we had the news about our distribution center was attacked, was bombed by the Israelis, and 7 of our volunteers was killed. And I was like calling them non-stop, asking what happened, who are these people, who are these names. Brother, calm down. For us, alhamdulillah, they said, this is what they are looking for. And of course, in life, this is what, as Muslim, the highest way of living this world is through shahid. So this is a gift of Allah to them. Yeah, the building up. I mean, they have a very strong iman that they hold that, okay, this is our life. Bombing is normal. They live it normal. They continue with it. For us, it's something different. For example, I've done work in Africa, and we've been in meetings with the UN, with a lot of other international bodies, and they highlighted about malnutrition. These people are not eating right. Of course, if you compare to what you are eating in the US, maybe like 4 or 5 meals a day compared to what they are eating in Africa, you say it's malnutrition. But if you see these people, you live with them, this is what they eat every day, and they live their life with this kind of food. So it's the same in Gaza, you know. They continue with this life, with the bombings, everything, and they have a very strong iman that they train their children, and they always recite verses from the Quran whenever any situation falls on them, and they are ready for everything. I think this is one thing that Gaza is teaching us. But apart from that, of course, mental health is important for the children. We feel it that way. Even sometimes, the children in the camps, they are volunteers or teachers who are creating games and things for the children to feel that it's normal, they're living a normal life, not living because the effects of war you cannot measure until it's several years.
I think you can take example from Brother Mu'taz, who was rescued, and what he's doing now going around the world. But in his stories, he often posts about what he's going through, and he's going through all the post-trauma and the guilt and whatnot of being a survivor. And he posts quite often, my mental health is gone, I don't know what to do, I can't sleep, I can't eat, I'm going for a scan today, I don't, And I remember one of the things that he wrote, many things that he wrote that were impactful, but one thing that stayed with me, he said, don't worry, the outside world is fake. What is inside is the reality. And I was like, wow, yes, yep, that's right. Everything out here, it's controlled, And there was a very strong recording from one of the women of Palestine that came out in October or November. And she basically at that time, she said in Arabic, so I was reading the translation, she said, don't cry for us, we cry for you. Don't cry for us, we cry for you. We're going to liberate your minds. And I was like, wow. And they are doing that. They are doing that. Absolutely.
I still remember the story from one woman that I interviewed in Al-Aqsa, 2016. I asked her, you lost 5 children because of war. Then what happened while you still pregnant? They are still pregnant again and again because I will send them as a mujahideen for ummah.
Oh, yeah.
The mindset is totally
Different.
Yeah. Okay, one more thing, maybe Nabihah can comment because people from Malaysia, they want, I want to adopt these children.
Yes, I got so many messages about that.
Because for them, they want live or die is still in their life.
Yes.
Kita nak tukar persepsi tu because kita nak datanglah jadi anak angkat.
Comel kan, anak yang comel.
They are fighter in their own land.
Betul. Memang saya dapat banyak message through email, through WhatsApp, and even we make online meeting with all those people, and still they want to adopt and bring that children out from Palestine. I say, Palestine is the land where they born, so they cannot leave the land because they are the future fighters. Even they are the young fighters already. So mindset tu yang kita perlu sampaikan pada yang lain, sebab tak mungkin mereka akan meninggalkan Palestin kerana itu adalah tanah warisan, dan alhamdulillah mereka di sana tu adalah mewakili kita semua untuk memerdekakan Palestin dan sebenarnya Masjidil Aqsa. Mereka adalah satu bangsa yang sangat kuat, dan sebenarnya mereka yang memerdekakan kita semua. Kita baru tersedar nak boykot, kita baru tersedar nak hidup lebih bersederhana, kita baru merdeka daripada pemikiran-pemikiran yang dijajah kan, melalui media sosial, the western news and everything. Jadi secara clearnya mereka memang tak boleh keluar pada Palestin. Malah mereka ni, kalau kita tengok video-video baru ni, even they need to take care of their siblings. Even at the age of 8 years, ada adik lagi 3 months nak kena jaga. Ada yang sampai sanggup berjalan 10 km to get the relief aid from the airdrops, but he failed to get it. But I watched one of the video, one of the NGO able to reach him and give him the food basket for him and his siblings at that time. So what we can do right now is from MyFundAction itself, what we did is we having the session psychological support with the kids at the shelters, at the camps. They are playing games, they are having activities with the volunteers just to get out a second from the pressure, from the stress at that time. And at the same time, we distribute the toys, the gift for the children so that they can have space to play with their friends. So this is one of the initiatives we already distribute 2 times for the psychological supports for the children. Even actually, we already started to adopt the Palestinian orphans in West Bank and Gaza since 2021. So
Meaning sponsor them, is
sponsored
it?
in terms of their education.
Yeah.
So in total, like 3,000 ringgit for the whole 12 months. And still, yeah, it's not enough. You can say like just $50 per month what you can do with that amount. So Alhamdulillah, that one is one of our projects to adopt Palestinian orphans, but it doesn't mean that we need to bring the orphans to your country, no. But we just support in terms of money, in terms of education, in terms of their needs during the special events like Eid Mubarak during Ramadan. So this is what we can do, that support from far, whatever we can, inshallah. And we know that these orphan and these young children, they are, I saw, I watched one of the video, these children, I think like 4 or 5 years, but then they already queue to get the food. And after the food already put into the plate, but the plate is made up from the steel, the metal, so he cannot hold this. It's still hot. So he cried, and we can see like he cried with the frustration that you already queue at the long hours, but then you cannot hold that metal plate. So one of the big brother helped him to bring the ice. Oh,
Yes.
she already at the 5 to 4 years already have the responsibility to bring the food to the other siblings, because usually what they did, if there is siblings that safe and there is no injured, they will be appointed to be the person in charge to get the food. So this is the culture over there. Even though we can see that at the young of age, they already sell. At this war, their mindset is not for minta sedekah. No, they have the mindset that they need to sell something with the dignity that they have. They want to get the money. It's not by asking people, by the begging. So this is mindset yang we need to train our children. We need to train our young generations on how to survive and resistance to the pressure.
Talking about young generation, sedih sikit lah kan. We need more
exposure.
We need more exposures.
Exposures.
Masa kita terhad akhir kata daripada mungkin Cik Jismi sendiri untuk berkongsi kata akhir harapan terhadap apa yang kita gerakkan ini. Semoga inilah perjuangan sepanjang hidup. Ya, survival kita, survival Palestin adalah sangat penting, dan kita berjuang segala apa yang kita ada demi merdekakan tanah Palestin. Silakan.
Saya cuma nak elaborate berkenaan obsesan. Obsesan ni adalah satu usaha yang bermula dengan solidariti bersama Palestin. Kita rancang untuk Minggu Solidariti bersama Palestin pada 29 November tiap-tiap tahun. Tapi sebelum sampainya perancangan kita nak buat Minggu Solidariti tu bersama rakan-rakan kita di MyFundAction dan lain-lain NGO, terjadinya Oktober 7. Dan daripada situ kita convertkan kerjasama ini kepada satu jawapan untuk membantu rakyat Palestin di Gaza, kita namakan Ops Ihsan. Jadi Ops Ihsan ni adalah milik semua yang membantu semua rakyat Malaysia, NGO termasuk juga kerajaan yang membantu mereka di Gaza. Itu satu naratif berkenaan Ops Ihsan ni lah. Jadi apa-apa saja usaha boleh dimasukkan di bawah Ops Ihsan, tak semestinya usaha itu datang daripada tabung AAKRP. Dan usaha kami di Ops Ihsan ni, kami sentiasa bekerja untuk memastikan segala jenis bantuan sampai ke Gaza, sampai kepada orang-orang yang sepatutnya menerima bantuan. Walaupun kalau dibandingkan dengan saiz negara kita dengan negara-negara lain, bantuan kita ni agak orang kata kecil lah kan. Tapi itulah usaha kita. Kalau tak ada RM100 kita bagi RM10, kalau tak ada RM10 kita bagi RM1, tak ada RM1 kita tetap bagi 10 sen ataupun sekurang-kurangnya bagilah usaha. Dan keterkehadapan, kalau kita tak ada sumbangan, paling senang as what Sister Aliza mentioned, our jihad, our effort, we don't have to leave home. We have to keep on sharing, keep on pushing the stories. We have seen the change in some countries, even in the UNRWA funding. They reverse their decision. You know, this is the strength of the people. This is all our strength. We don't know. Maybe what Fedtri shared today reach somebody in the country that decided to block their funding to UNRWA. But this person shared to more people, and the country suddenly reversed the decision because they came out to force their leaders to reverse this decision. So kita jangan ingat, don't think that, you know, by sharing one video or one poster or one photo in the social media does not give any impact. You may not know.
Or 2 or 3 years,
yeah,
reach target.
it can reach, you know. Or maybe in one video suddenly you become an influencer where you have more than 100,000 views. You may not know, you know, but effort must not stop. Same like berbalik kepada same like you know, the effort of sending food. There are questions, you know, hantar benda ni adakah sampai ke tidak, adakah betul benda ni di Gaza, adakah sampai kepada orang-orang yang sepatutnya. Banyak pula dulu masa mula-mula kita hantar, dia orang cakap, oh, orang Israel tahan benda ni, sekat dan buang. Kalau kita buat, kita hantar 50% barang bantuan kita disekat oleh Israel, masih ada 50% masuk ke Gaza. Kalau kita tak buat langsung, 0% keluar daripada kita, 0% lah sampai ke Gaza. Jadi itulah saya memang ingin menganjurkan kepada semua orang, jangan berhenti membantu daripada segala segi.
InsyaAllah. And from Aliza to our audience.
Okay, so for anyone who's watching this, I think I'll take this from the point of someone who's just at home. Yeah, so just remember that we each can definitely do our part, you know, and you don't have to feel guilty about what you can't do. Focus on what you can do. When you see the death and destruction, yes, you're allowed to grieve it like everyone, but don't focus on that. Once they've left this human form, they're with Allah. Alhamdulillah. This is why the Ghazans, they're sad because of the loss of the life that they lived with that person, but they're not sad about the death because they know that they're with Allah. Yeah, they say Alhamdulillah, we say Alhamdulillah too. So we focus on the living. Yeah, we focus on what we can do and the living. So now, sometimes we're not sure about who to donate to, how to go about the charities and all this. Just make sure to look at the background. How long has this charity been around? Has the NGO had success in the past? We know in Malaysia there has been a bit of an NGO crisis, especially with Palestine in the last few years. Right? So make sure that whoever you're donating to has been audited. They are someone that has the proof of going in, and all the charities, they do have a way to answer you where you will feel comfortable, you can message them. I don't see any reason not to. I have, and they're always responsive. Yeah, so if you're worried about that, just get in touch with them, but don't stop. Yeah, we lose when you stop. Yeah, and it's not just one person, it's all of us have to pitch in. We lose when some of us lose heart. So don't lose heart, keep on going, keep talking, keep posting, keep donating, but do what you need to do with the due diligence.
Thank you, Aliza. Kanak-Kanak. Dan kita daripada MyFundAction sebagai tuan rumah.
Okay, I love the encouragement from Aliza just now. Do not stop. And but the most important part is just focus on what we can do. Because maybe other people have any other capacity. If they are not having capacity in terms of money, maybe we have our energy to join any volunteering activities that related to Palestinian support. And inshallah, we can do this together. Believe in Allah, we just do whatever we can, but the rest of it, Allah will handle it, inshallah. And keep praying for Palestine for this Ramadan, especially. Do not stop to recite Qur'an Nazila every day, and inshallah this holy month we know that doa-doa kita ni akan dimakbulkan, kan? Jadi teruskan berdoa dalam solat kita, dalam tahajud kita untuk Palestin, dan pada masa yang sama apa yang kita mampu buat, laksanakan. Kalau boleh sedekah, kalau boleh bersama-sama turun padang untuk join volunteering, teruskan. Mana yang tadi boleh bersama-sama iftar, kan, berkongsi makanan, mungkin rakyat Malaysia, sebab we need to having the same behavior with what Palestinians have, that they will share everything, whoever they are, even though they are not their family members, but they will share everything. So bulan puasa ni adalah bulan berkongsi rezeki. Kalau kita pergi ke masjid, bawa makanan kita juga dan berkongsi dengan orang-orang masjid di sana, kita nak memupuk jiwa kita ni lebih kuat dan sepertinya warga Palestin di sana.
Actually, one of the questions that I get from my followers a lot is how can they be sure that their funding is getting into the country, and even the aid trucks? How can they be sure? Because sometimes you see the videos, but we can't, we can't verify. Maybe you can share with that.
Okay.
Share with us on that.
Alright, so usually right after we receive the funding from the public, we will update and try to get information with our implementing partners inside Gaza, and they will make assessment first. Either that place is safe or not, is there any having sufficient enough for the food resources and everything. Then they will keep update with us what time and the date that they can execute the operations. So right after, during the operation site, whenever this is the war that we can get very quality videos, they just use whatever they have, the phones, the camera that is still having with their teams. So during the operations and everything, we cannot do any live, or even actually we cannot post the photos and the videos right after the distribution. It will take time, maybe for example like a week, or maybe like 3 to 4 days after operations, because we would like to avoid any detection from the Israel through AI. They can detect the location, where's the distribution. That's why there is some videos that we can see the distribution made today, but tomorrow the place already destroyed. So this is the safety part that we are trying to preserve and make sure that the beneficiaries' safety is our first priority. So right after we got the footage and the media part, we will expose to our media social, or maybe to the website, to our supporters, minimum 1 week after that. So for example, like Ops Ihsan already having people keep asking how this aid from the trucks can enter the border, like what Mr. Jismi said, maybe 50%, maybe 40%, because every day the person in charge at the border keep changing the rules. So that is how we operate. So we have our implementing partners in Gaza, and even actually we try to set up and send the aids from Malaysia to our partners over there. That's why Mr. Jismi said during the Rafah border, our implementing partner inside can receive the trucks, inshallah. So we try to do the best, whatever we can do, the things that we can control.
If we don't have a G2G relation, we still have NGO to NGO
relation.
Yes, yes.
But you know, having G2G relation is an added advantage because we write to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs here, and they write to the Egyptian government, and of course,
we follow SOP.
Yeah, we follow the SOP with we get speedy approval in terms of the goods moving in. Waiting for the approval, we can start planning how we want to flow the goods in. And this is one thing. To add to Sister Nabihah and answering Sister Aliza question again, of course, people keep on asking, like you mentioned earlier, this photo does not look like Gaza, this photo does not. On safety reason, as Sister Nabihah mentioned, normally we try not to have too much exposure on the area that we are doing. As for Ops Ihsan, last week we lost 7 volunteers where they are preparing to do distribution, and it was bombed by the Israeli that night. That night alone, about 80 people lost their life, and all of them within the vicinity of the warehouse or distribution centers. So, of course, Malaysia has been one of the biggest contributor in terms of effort, airtime, and also assistance. So, and the controversial issues that came up a few years back with the Palestinian NGOs, we are trying in Ops Ihsan, we are trying to build up the confidence of the people, and we are trying to work with everybody, learn with from everybody on how to manage funds, manage NGO in a way, in a professional way, and accepted internationally and locally. For Ops Ihsan, if the funds come from the account Amanah Kemanusiaan Rakyat Palestin, which is administered by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, they are very specific to see the flow of funds. That's why we either do the purchasing here, or we do the purchasing in Cairo. We appoint a company or another NGO, so that the flow of funds is there, and it's transferred from, let's say, from MyFundAction to company ABC in Cairo. The company ABC in Cairo will prepare all the equipment and stuff, and will be sent into Gaza. That's how we do it. And you know, because of the proof of flow of fund is important in this in this operation under Ops Ihsan. That's why seldom we send money directly into Gaza. But there are also ways where NGO who have offices in Gaza, like Malaysian NGO who have offices in Gaza, and they have some resources in there. So we send it, we give it to them, and they are the one who will be doing the implementation. So this is how the flow of funds and how the money goes through.
Then how do you, I know that Egypt is very strict about the list of things that you're sending in, right? So how do you know, I don't know, week by week what is needed inside? Is there health ministry telling you, okay, we need this now, or how?
Yeah.
What is that list?
Yeah. We always have alerts or requests from the health ministry, especially the health ministry in Gaza, telling us what is needed. But also we compare the list with other organizations such as UNRWA, the Palestinian Red Crescent, and WHO. So mostly at this point of time, as I mentioned before, we are back into the emergency assistance stage where food, water, shelter, and medicine is mostly needed. And this is how we know what is needed inside at this point of time.
Okay. And then for the distribution, the volunteers go out to distribute in the tents or whatnot, right? But is that the same with the food boxes? They're being delivered, or do people come and pick it up?
It goes both ways. Volunteers go and distribute in the tents, and there are also distribution centers. Even in the camps, there are places where you drop off your food boxes. Is in their warehouse. The people from the camp, they know when you will come and pick it up. This is how it's a little bit organized actually on the ground. They know how many people need food, so it's being distributed very systematically. They have leaders of the community to take care of the community. Okay, under me I have 7 families, or under me I have 20 families. Maybe these people go to the distribution center, pick up and distribute it. The most affected people that we see that having grass soup or they don't have things to eat is those who are in the northern part. And the northern part is like totally blocked, and if there is any lorry that cross in, they'll be having problems. And I agree with you with the airdrops. It's like, why is being dropped in the sea? And some have been dropped back into the Israeli area, and for me, it's still the most effective way is through land, and that is the true fact that there are 7 crossings into Gaza. 1 is with Egypt, and the other 6 is with Israel. So even if they open 100% in Rafah alone, we can avoid starvation and famine in Gaza. But then again, political strength is needed. The people strength is needed to pressure everybody. That at this point of time, for us, that we are seeing more than we're supposed to see to prove that it's a genocide and it's a systematic starvation is being going on there. So back to assistance, yes, we get notification from time to time from these bodies, including the Ministry of Health.
I think the last question is, why don't people know more about Ops Ihsan? Like, they come to me and like, who are these people? You know. So why don't the Malaysians especially know more about this organization? Is it new? Was it newly incorporated, or what?
It's not an organization. Ops Ihsan is a collaboration of about 50 NGOs with the government of Malaysia. It is an action. It's a call to action. It's a result of what we are doing, all the NGOs are doing, and it also funded by the funds that is collected by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Previously, this fund was planned to be sent to the Palestinian Authority in Ramallah. So, but the government decided that we appoint implementers. NGOs can send proposal. Whatever NGOs think, the NGOs think they have good proposals, they can send through the Secretariat of Ops Ihsan. Of course, some people don't know Ops Ihsan, but it's like Ops Ihsan itself is not a registered entity. It's just an action, a coalition. So some other NGOs, they might want to highlight their own organization because they want to prove to the donors that they are doing what they are doing with the funds they collected, you know. So I think we need, like you say, I agree with you, we need to go out more. And going out more needs more action. More action needs more fun and more funding. And these are also among the reasons.
We will invite Mr. Jismi for the next episode.
Inshallah.
Maybe I would like to add on the way for MyFundAction, how we operate. We do collaborate for about 7 implementing partners in Gaza, because every single partner is having different vendors, different suppliers. So whenever we want to distribute food or clothes or maybe medicine or medical supply, we will double check if they have capacity to do that or not. So that is one of the strategy that we did. So having multiple implementing partners so that we can get varieties and much more capacity to having to distribute the aid.
Yeah, on the ground in Gaza itself also, there are organizations, especially youth organizations, and also NGOs that are ever willing to help in distribution. So these are the partners that we work with, and we have in Gaza alone there are more than 20 NGOs active, besides the Palestinian Red Crescent themselves.
So for the distribution part, maybe that people can see why only one beneficiaries, why only these few pictures? Because we much more recommend our implementing partners to go 10 by 10 instead of having the crowd pulling distribution. They will make them high risk to get detected from Israeli. So this is what happens during the floor massacre that they said just now. Because having that crowd pulling, they will detect the location.
Meaning that the ecosystem is very complicated.
Very complicated. We need the locals. They know how to operate and how to do it.
Localized.
Yeah. And you know also they are also, you have to respect the sensitivity of the people. You are giving one food basket which costs about 150 ringgit, and you want their photo to be publicized for the whole world. This is something very, very sensitive for us. Dignity. We take care of 2 things on the ground during distribution. Number 1, of course, security, and number 2 is, of course, dignity. We have to take care. That's why some, for the sake of photo, they would send us photo, but they would send us photo of children picking up, because children. But then again, if you really go deeper into human rights, it goes back to child rights. It's not right also. But then again, you know, donors want proof. This is our dilemma. You know, we try our best to send proof.
Because we need to take care of the beneficiaries first. Whatever it is, they are our priorities.
Okay, terima kasih. Dan bab kata puisi Palestin, the soil, the wall, the ocean, the sky, the birds, all ours. Semuanya milik kita, dan kita akan kembalikan keindahan itu di bumi Palestin, di bumi Gaza. Terima kasih lagi untuk Encik Jismi, pengurusi Ihsan. Aliza, thank you so much. Yang tidak ada cukup harap. Okay. Dan juga kepada Nabihah yang bersama kita sebagai pengurus projek Palestin MyFundAction. Semoga memberikan manfaat dalam diskusi yang setiap ini. Semoga ada impak untuk anda semua. Kita ucap kepada anda sembah berpuasa dan terus berjuang untuk Palestin yang amat kita cinta. Jumpa lagi. Assalamualaikum.